Good morning. I hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Right before Thanksgiving last week, I got some very, very sad news. My little cousin, Nicole, I always knew her, call her Nikki, was recently diagnosed with stage 3 metastatic breast cancer. And Nicole is part of a group of my family. A lot of you have heard me talk about my family on these shows, and I've had some issues with some members of my family. You all know that. Some members of my family have kind of excommunicated me because of my religious beliefs, my issues with the church they attend, or other stupid, petty things. But Nicole is part of my family that I'm going to lovingly, and I hope she laughs when she sees this, call the Mannheim Maniacs. There's a town in Pennsylvania near my house called Mannheim, Pennsylvania. And my Uncle Chris and Aunt Nancy settled there, and they had their beautiful family, of which Nicole is the granddaughter of Uncle Chris and Aunt Nancy. And I call them the Mannheim Maniacs because they are so much fun, always laughing, and always supportive. My Mannheim cousins have always supported me. Uncle Chris and Aunt Nancy always supported me. Uncle Chris has long been passed and he deceased, but Aunt Nancy is still going strong. And they are all so supportive, and they've never judged me. When other members of the family are critical of me, they never take sides. They have always been there for me. They came out, they all came out to see my comedy show when I did my first stand-up routine. They're just a wonderful, wonderful bunch of people. And so the fact that this is happening to them, to my little cousin, is heartbreaking. What is even more heartbreaking is that Nikki, and her husband have always done everything right. They've done what they were supposed to do. They both work hard, they have health insurance, but now at this time, when they really need their health insurance, guess what? They thought they were going to be fine, right? They have health insurance, they pay the premiums, a lot of premiums. Well, they were wrong. Like many of you will find out when a serious illness comes to visit your family. You may have health insurance just like everybody tells you you should, but health insurance ain't going to cover it. Not when you have a serious illness like cancer. It's amazing to me what health insurance will cover and what it won't. It's also amazing to me, and we're going to discuss this during this show, is the amount of money that pharmaceutical companies get away with charging people when they're fighting for their lives at a most desperate time in their life. And the fact that getting a cancer diagnosis is bad enough. Can you imagine the stress? I had a false positive and I thought I had cancer, and the stress level for me was through the roof. But now add on top to that stress that you know you have stage 3 cancer and you are going to be miserable for the next year of your life. Nikki is going to go through extensive chemotherapy, radiation, and she's going to have a double mastectomy. Her life ain't going to be fun. She also will no longer be able to work because her treatment is going to be so rigorous to defeat this cancer. And Nikki is determined to beat this motherfucker. She's going to beat it. But unfortunately, on top of all of that, she and her wonderful husband, Rob, now have to worry about how are they going to pay for Nikki's life. What is Nikki's life worth in dollars? And of course, all of us say, well, a person's life is worth any amount of money. But what if you don't have it? What if you don't have the money? Nikki's husband wrote a very poignant and moving post on Facebook. If you're on Facebook and you can read it, Rob Lanigan, it was wonderful. And he wrote how he's always done everything right to take care of his family, to be a supportive husband and father. to his family. He works, he had insurance, everything right. And now they are faced with the possibility of losing everything they've worked for in order to save Nikki's life. Imagine that. And if any of you out there are like, oh, well, that's not us, guess what? It is you. It's all of us. We are all one major illness away from total financial devastation, on top of all the other crap that this kind of a diagnosis brings into your life. Between the premiums you pay, some people are paying $1,700 a month for health insurance premiums. And remember when Obamacare said, oh, your premiums are going to go down? Well, see, most people's premiums went up. People who both have jobs, people who actually go to work every day, their premiums doubled and tripled after Obamacare. Funny thing about Obamacare, there's no more lifetime cap, which is a good thing. But now the deductibles, the yearly deductibles have gone up. Some people have $7,500 to $10,000 a year deductibles. This means, folks, that on top of the monthly premiums you pay for having insurance, you got to pay another 7 to 10 grand out of your own pocket before the insurance will cover anything. And then you have those nasty copays, which can exist even after you meet your deductible. And those copays can add up real quick when you're trying to fight cancer, when you're fighting stage 3 cancer. Rob and Nikki never thought in a million years that they would have to do a please give us donations page, which they have on Facebook, and which I am going to make sure I share the link. If you want to help Nikki and Rob financially get through this horrible chapter in their life, so they can come through the other side, and when Nikki kicks cancer's ass, she will be able to stay in the same home that she and her husband worked so hard for. That they will not lose everything. Because Nikki's going to kick this. But she shouldn't have to lose her home, her life, her lifestyle, because she had the bad luck to get sick. You know what makes me so furious? Is that insurance, what they will pay for and what they won't. Nikki wants to do holistic medicine on top of your traditional cancer fighting medication. Health insurance won't cover that. They won't touch it. It's experimental. I remember my godmother, when she had cancer, the insurance company would pay for the chemo, but they would not pay for the $1,500 per dose anti-nausea shot so that she could actually exist. Because chemo makes you very sick, makes you nauseous. So the insurance company paid for the chemo, but they didn't pay for the drug that offsets the horrible side effects from the chemo. Is that right? All insurance companies must pay for breast reconstruction surgery. Well, that's lovely. That's great. They're paying for you to get new breasts because cancer is robbing you of a part of your body that many, many women do not want to lose, their breasts. So the insurance will cover the breast reconstruction, but it won't cover a lot of the drugs you need to actually survive the cancer and enjoy your new breasts. That, to me, is illogical and stupid. There are some cancer drugs out there, and believe me, I didn't believe it either. Your mouth is going to drop right now, so please sit down. Make sure you're sitting down. I've been seeing a lot of shows about St. Jude's Children's Hospital. So there's this kid at St. Jude's. He's got aggressive cancer. He's allergic, literally allergic to standard chemo. So they had to find special chemo, and St. Jude's did that. Guess what the pharmaceutical industry was going to charge this family if they weren't at St. Jude's, who never charges for anything? His special chemo was $30,000 per dose, and this young man needed 85 doses. in order to live and survive his cancer. Do the math. They did it for us. Ladies and gentlemen, in order for this young man to survive, if it weren't for St. Jude's, his family would have had to come up with $2.5 million in order for their son to survive a survivable cancer. And he did survive. And now he spends his life dedicated to raising money for St. Jude's. I want to know, where is the St. Jude's for hardworking adults? Because let's face it, people like Nikki and Rob, people like me and Jason, we're never going to qualify for the stuff like my neighbor who got stage 4 non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, never had a job at the time, did not work. Her husband, they didn't have health insurance, but guess what? She was on the Medicaid. So they got the best care. She beat it. She's cancer-free for many, many years now. It's been about 15 years. She got all the care she needed, and she didn't pay one dime. They didn't lose their house. Between her church doing donations and Medicaid, everything was covered. Where is that for people who actually go out to a job every single day, pay for health insurance premiums? Where is our St. Jude? Where can we go? And I'm willing to let them bill my insurance company. Let the insurance company pay. Believe me, that's their job. But what the insurance company doesn't pay, why is there no hospital for people like us who work for a living, who don't take food stamps or welfare or Medicaid, who work? Where is our St. Jude? Where do they say, come to us, we'll bill your insurance, whatever the insurance doesn't pay, you're still going to get excellent care, and you don't pay a dime. Don't worry about expenses. All we want is for you to worry about your wife living, your husband living. Because that's St. Jude's motto. We just want you to worry about your child surviving. Where is the adult St. Jude? I think we need one. Luckily, there are very many good people in this world. So again, I'm going to put a link up after this show. It's on my Facebook page. It's on my timeline, Paula Kling Luciano, and it will be on Political Paula, the page where many of my Facebook people watch my show. And if you can, like Rob said in his note, he said he knows it's Christmas and all. And people are like, oh, we got to buy presents for the kids and presents for this and that. But how about this? How about taking a few dollars out of your Christmas club money, and instead of getting your children a gift that they're going to be bored with after a week, or buying something for each other, for a husband and wife, how about thinking about Rob Lonigan and Nicole Lonigan? And that all they want for Christmas this year is for Nikki to get the treatment she needs so she can kick some breast cancer ass. What better way to spend your money? What better message, the true Christmas message, would it be to send a few dollars Nicole's way so that she can get the care that she needs? Because she deserves to live. She deserves to live just like we all deserve to live. Insurance companies, pharmaceutical companies, they shouldn't decide whether we live or die. And we should be able to go to other kinds of medication, holistic medication, supplements. Believe me, my husband's on supplements. And the insurance company doesn't touch supplements. My husband goes to a chiropractor for his peripheral neuropathy. Insurance won't pay one dime for any of that. They'll pay for him to get these drugs that have horrible side effects, a portion. And remember this, many insurance companies, it's called 80-20. The insurance is like, hey, we're paying 80%. Think about that little boy. Do you know what 20% of $30,000 is? And then multiply that by 85. That's still a lot of freaking money. It's a lot of money. 20% of $1 million is a lot of money. It's more money than most of us have laying around. So for those of you who have that 80-20 plan, oh, my insurance will pay 80%. Oh, that's amazing. No, actually, not when you're talking about what cancer treatment costs. And I got to tell you, I'm going to do another show about cancer next week, about cancer research and where your donations to the American Cancer Society and all these other places is not going. Let's just put it this way. Any of you get lung cancer, you're screwed. That's next week's show. Anyway, but again, we have the right when we get sick, and especially for those of us who have done everything right, we have the right to live, or at least to give it that old attaboy or attagirl. We have the right to try. And these insurance companies are cringing right now. Nicole's insurance company is probably having a nervous breakdown because they know they're going to start getting claims. And all these years that Nicole paid in to her insurance premiums, never had a major claim. All that money she paid, they don't care about that. Insurance companies' jobs, according to insurance companies, is not to pay out money. It's the only company in the history of the world that actually their goal is not to do what they're supposed to do, which is pay when you get sick. They're supposed to pay your bills. You pay the premiums. When you get sick, they pay the bills. If you never get sick, they win. Insurance companies have made more money off of me than I will ever get back from them. Trust me. But they don't like it when they have to spend money on you. They only like it when they're getting money from you. And these pharmaceutical companies, and we can do something about this with our votes, people. We need to start looking at politicians who are not going to take money from pharmaceutical lobbyists to make sure that their drugs that cause horrific side effects, like opioids, which causes addiction, that we're not peddling those drugs and helping the pharmaceutical people get mad rich off the backs of desperate people who just want to survive and need some of their drugs to live, like chemotherapy drugs, like the anti-nausea drug, like special chemo for people who can't tolerate standard chemo. Those people deserve to live. And insurance companies and pharmaceutical companies need to get on board with, how about we get back to saving lives instead of worrying about the fucking bottom line. So a personal note to Nicole, I hope you will get to see this. You're starting your chemo this week, and I love you. Jason and I are keeping you in our thoughts and our prayers. If anybody can kick this monster, you can. You are the dragon slayer, my lovely. Nicole is very brave, very strong. She even went on Facebook and shaved her head on her terms because she knew she was going to lose her hair. She did that on live Facebook. That's brave. That kind of bravery. You are the Callisti of our family, sweetheart. The dragon slayer. And what do dragons eat, Nikki? Anything they want. So you are going to beat this. And hopefully the community that you have always been the first one to help. Nikki always helps people in need as soon as she hears about it. Hopefully now it's your turn to receive the blessings that you have bestowed on all of us by your very existence on this earth. I love you, sweetheart. Now go kick some cancer ass. If you want to help Nikki, don't forget, I'm going to be putting up links where you can donate. Even if you donate $10, $5, it's going to help. It's going to help Nikki live. And it's going to help Nikki relax and not have to worry about financial problems when she's fighting for her life. Love you, girl. Political Paula, out.